Orbit's too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off of you.
Good morning. How's everyone doing today? It is Friday. That's October 6th. We're on day 12 of this weight loss challenge slash vlog thing for Wootopia. Anyway, yesterday we did intermittent fasting and we made it to the gym twice. Had a somewhat reasonable dinner, so hoping to see maybe a pound or so off on the scale. Even though it's getting to the point where we're not going to have weight loss every day, probably here coming up soon at some point. Gonna get a little slacky or something and we'll go up. But let's step on the scale and see where we're at today and then head to the gym. 220.6, so almost a pound since yesterday. Not bad. 12 days down, 12 visits to the gym. Actually, I guess technically 14 since I did two two-a-days. And also planning to go back to the gym later today, hopefully. It is really nice out today. No clouds or anything. So we should probably try to fly. But I got regular work and I have tiny whoop work. So we'll see how much time we have. So I'm just leaving work and it's pretty nice out. So let's try to stop somewhere, maybe find a new place, and yeah, find somewhere else to fly, somewhere new to fly. I found a pretty cool park. I've never been here, but it's pretty close to my work. It's got like a playground and this weird mound thing, some little enclosures, a lot of open space. Over somewhere over there, there's even like little towery things. So yeah, walk around, maybe rip a pack at each thing and kind of maybe put together a little edit instead of just a full DVR like I've been doing. Depends on how fun it actually is to fly each spot. We'll see. Yeah, that's too bad. If I had my other little screen, I could just show you what it sees. But it basically I just see what it's like. There's a little, yeah, like, it's a tiny little camera right there on the front. So then, see here, if you want to try to look.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's crazy. You're able to like control it in that fast too? Like,
Yeah, so. Alright, you want to bring it around like this? Just stick it out a little further. Alright, it's going to take off your hand. Alright, ready? Yeah, they spin. They push the air down so it goes up. Go that way. Whee! So there's a bridge over water. It kind of has to be power looped, right? So that's what we're gonna go do. Hopefully we don't lose the drone. Alright. Self-lift complete on the bridge over water. Okay, so I'm going back to the gym for the second time today. Get in another session before. Hey, Chester, what's up? Chester's here. Chester's like the local neighborhood cat that just comes around and always gets in here. Anyway, headed to the gym. And yeah, then Lonnie's gonna come over and we're gonna work on the hummingbirds. Day 12, second time at the gym, wrapping it up. Pretty good workout, and yeah, it's definitely getting a lot easier now. This feels like I'm not nearly as exhausted, like while doing the exercise and at the end, so I can even push a little harder, try to get more calories. Anyway, let's head back home, make some dinner, and fix the hummingbirds. So Lonnie didn't make it over tonight because he was a little too busy, so he's gonna come over tomorrow, probably before the stream, and we'll do the hummingbirds then. Anyway, thanks for watching. Another day, another vlog. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
I'm gonna rip some packs around the house. I just need a mission for submission tricks that I can learn how and then train for a couple of days until I have all the clips that I need. IGOW is a whoopaholic's paintbrush. IGOW is a whoopaholic's toothbrush. I need to go acro now. I wanna be that quadcopter up in the sky now. And I'm gonna risk my whoop, 'cause I've got another whoop. And I can't possibly fly two whoops, at least simultaneously.
Orbit's too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like IGOW to touch. I wanna hold you so much. Orbit you, baby, and if it's quite alright, IGOW you, baby, to warm the lonely nights. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say, oh pretty baby, don't bring me down, I pray. Oh pretty baby, now that I've found you, stay and let me orbit you, babe, let me love you.
Do you wanna do an orbit upside down around the ball? It can be anywhere, at any height we'll find one really tall. We used to be best buddies, and now we're not. I wish I could make you spin. Does it have to be an orbit? Yes, it has to be an orbit. Okay, I'll try. Do you wanna do an orbit upside down around the peak? I think this trick is overdue. I started scrolling through the Reddit for the week. It gets a little lonely on these packs, just watching my whoop crash down. I think I got an orbit. I think I got an orbit. Okay, let's fly. Okay, let's fly.
Flying sharks and flying sharks on the flying sharks. So flying sharks to get it. Flying sharks? Flying sharks and enough.
Flying sharks, flying sharks, you know, flying sharks, flying sharks.
Meet the tunny hoop. The male hoop or raisin must perform a dance and press the female hoop. Called Skittles. Raisin practices his dance to be sure it is absolutely perfect. He builds a pouch to lure the female in. Once she's touched upon this apparatus, he is ready to start the show. The dance is so complex, the eye can hardly follow. Two of these, one of those. Before you know it, his dance is over. Skittles is aroused. Hubba hubba. Skittles is captivated by the mediocre performance. She exposes her buttery port for insertion. Raisin extends his BT to point connector. Hubba hubba hoo choo wee wah. With his task complete, the little brazen tunny hoop flies away to prepare for next week's adventure.
Going out to fly my whoop, flying through a loop, fly backwards for infinity loops. Going out to fly my loop, and I forgot my keys, forgot my keys, forgot my keys. Going out to fly my whoop, flying through a loop, fly backwards for infinity loops. Going out to fly my whoop, and I forgot my keys, forgot my keys, forgot my keys. And I forgot my
Alright, let's meow this. This is a rap about Ilman and Gray, the two cool cats beneath IGOW. Hey, what is IGOW? I'll give you a lesson in juicy pussy tricks and whoops. Now here's my session. Started off one day with a dope man. His name was Dan. Had a plan. A man with a plan and a competition, but his spelling, it caused a petition. IGOW. What the hell is that? The W makes no sense. Are you a prat? The W is supposed to mean whoop. With these IGOW rule changes, it's gone to poop. IGOW. Now the cats are here, coming in clutch to remove fears about Dan's ABC. So let's get down to...
Hey.
What?
Feed me lipos. Hey.
I misbound this time for closure. You want what you want, that must be awful. But please pull up your pants, no offense. Won't be dancing in rice. I'm not telling you twice. Nothing you can do to make things right. I'm a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. With my Gemini rights. I'm a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. With my Gemini rights.
É mais que poema, é a coisa mais linda.
Sitting all alone on your crackback, hoping for some cash, but they're burning off the fleshlight. They flew all week lacking talent, but you get the parents. So proud how you managed to date. Everybody lonely in this goddamn city. Goddamn city got me pity all the pretty. I'm getting high in a room full of hippies. Goddamn hippies. We got no room. Only Gemini, right? You're a bunch of fools. That's what your mom's trying to say. We fly with you while you rub your turtlenecks. Is what we do. We win and you lose. I'm a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. With my Gemini rights. I'm a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. With my Gemini rights. Bring up the Just give me some slice, hey.
You can split my ass anytime.
You're the best. Orca goggles.
What was that? Oh my... No shot, dude.
What's up, everybody? How we doing on this Saturday? Is there two things here? There's two. How's everyone doing? It's Saturday. We're in between weeks in the playoffs. It's currently round 2. Pilots got their challenges last weekend, and then they have 2 weeks. So this week and then next weekend, we will review the challenges from round 2. So that's going to be on Sunday at like about 2 p.m. A little later than the 12 p.m. noon start. We'll still have a stream on Saturday at noon probably. And we'll maybe do something else, check in, see everyone do it. So let's say hi to everyone that's here. We got Inns, Baduga, Fart Devil, Fry5, RCKY, Selenia, Gravion Mayo, and yep, it's everyone. How's everyone doing today? If you didn't already see the round 1 challenges, we're going to go just over that quickly. And yeah, I'm going to call it a day. And go to the gym and do some flying outside today, hopefully, because it's really nice. Lonnie's coming over. We're going to fix up our hummingbirds. Or I hope I can fix the one I broke. Anyway, you didn't see my vlog from yesterday. Check that one out. It's a good one. My favorite one of this thing so far. I had this morning. Fun part where I you want to try to saw this little kid and showed him FPV and stuff. Anyway, oh yeah, he asked, "Where are the wings?" when the drone started flying. Anyway, that was fun. So let's get into these videos. If you didn't know already, the regular season ended and we started with 1,707 players. And if you've looked at the sheet recently, I added a final rank column so you can see where you ended up in position. I haven't gone between 300 position and 500 position. I haven't done the ties yet, but you can see if you scored 0 points, you tied for 893rd position, and then if you got 10, that's 739th. Anyway, all the way up to the top. And our finishing order, we'll go over that as they got knocked out, but you can see everyone here. So if you tied, you can see what position you got overall. So like Citrus and TC Moore tied for 34th. That's what the T means. Anyway, congratulations to all our pilots. RCKY says he didn't think he made it this far. He is the only, I guess you would say, upset from round 1. He had IGO, RCKY did, and he advanced, and there was 2 pilots that just had IG. But it was also about what groups you're in. Anyway, what's up, Jao? What's up, Callisto? Let's go over some of the challenges. We had the 16 pilots that made the playoffs split into 4 groups. They were the Beta FPV group, the Fly group, FYX Crafts group, and Joshua Bardwell group. So just go over them by group. So in the Beta FPV group, we had Tyrant, Shawnee D, iFly sometimes, and Shankin Whoop. So all the pilots made up their own challenges, and we'll just kind of go through them quickly. Shankin Whoop, if you're trying to read these tables here, the rows are like the pilot score. So this is how Tyrant did on Tyrants, on Shawnee D's, on iFly sometimes, on Shankin Whoops. And then if you go down, right, this is how everyone did on Tyrants, how Tyrant did on his, how Shawnee D did, how iFly sometimes did, and how Shankin Whoop did. and how many points each pilot got for each spot. So, as you can see on Shake and Whoops, everyone was able to complete Shake and Whoops, even Shake and Whoop. So he got 10 points, but then got -9 because everyone else was able to complete it. So let's take a look at his challenge real quick. So Shake and Whoop's challenge was, he had one of the most unique obstacles. He actually kind of made a different obstacle, which was basically a cube with like then another almost elevated cube connected to it, but really just the dive gate part on top was what you need. So you do a split S into the cube, and a couple side type loops, Matty flip, power loop 1, and then another power loop through the dive gate that time into a stall 360 rewind, and then celebration roll. One more time. Fun challenge there by Shake and Whoop. Everyone who did that one enjoyed it. I mean, they passed it, so I guess that's was part of enjoying, but they all liked the idea, like the obstacle. He had some cool, unique elements in there. So overall, great challenge by Shake and Whoop. Just maybe not quite difficult enough for the group. As you can see, he got 1 total point. Didn't pass any of the other challenges, and everyone passed his. All right. Our next competitor in the group was I Fly Sometimes, who created a multi-part challenge. His had elements from different parts of previous challenge. He kind of took them and adapted them, and all of his were about going fast. He's a racer in real life. So his first one was TGS. You do a loop, and then you go ladder up and then down 3 times. And you had to do that in less than 12 seconds or 15 seconds. Something pretty fast. Very nice ladders. Really got locked in there. I think it was 12. Yeah. So then his second challenge, you had to do an inverted orbit of the TGS. And I think you had to do... remember the numbers here. At least 12 inverted orbits in 15 seconds for this one. So another tough one. This is little handgun. All right, and then his last part was like the Derpy Hooves pentathlon reducing size gates challenge. He went with I think the half and the quarter size gates. So you just had to do front flip, back flip, left roll, right roll through the medium sized gate and then the smaller gate as fast as possible. And I think he set a 28-second time limit for this one. You had to be flipping or rolling as you pass through the gate. Great job there by I Fly Sometimes. Multiple part challenge, most of them about speed, some precision in the last one. So as you can see here, Tyrant was able to pass the I Fly Sometimes challenge. He didn't have too much trouble with it, not surprising. He did have to reduce the size of his TGS gate and make it a little skinnier so he could get enough in. Shawnee D was almost able to do it. He got both parts besides the inverted orbit part. And if you were there on the live stream, we watched his inverted orbits like over probably for like 20 minutes because he was literally like a frame or two short of pulling off the inverted orbits in it was technically under 13 seconds or 12.99 seconds. So he just barely missed that one. And then Shake and Whoop was not able to do all the parts. So I Fly Sometimes got 10 for passing his own, plus 6 bonus points for getting 2 people to fail. Great job by him. Next up, we had Shawnee D. And as you can see, Shawnee D was one of our perfect challenges. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 perfect challenges in round 1. Pretty good. Perfect challenge means you passed your own challenge, but no one else in the group was able to pass it. So Shawnee D's challenge, if you don't already know, is my favorite challenge of round 1 of the finals. Maybe my favorite challenge of IGOW.
Oh my gosh, that was so
all time of
Show all
IGOW.
the aftermath.
So his involved popping balloons, and there were 4 parts to it. So the first part, or not in order, but one of the parts was you had to toss up 2 balloons in the air and then take off and pop both the balloons before they hit the ground. What's up, Athix? How's it going?
Go.
So here's him finally getting it. Oh!
Did I do it? Yeah.
You can see he's got a little staple poking out the top of his drone there. Pop.
Oh. We did it. Go.
TLDR.
Did I do
Nice.
it? Yes.
Then one of the other parts of the challenge was have a balloon on your head, and then you had to do a Matty flip and pop it, come back through your legs, or you could do power loop and pop it. Either way, Shawnee D went with Matty flip. This is a sweet looking clip. Very nice, super cool. And then you had to land on your goggles afterwards too.
Look at the carnage.
All right, that was 2 of the 4 parts. Next part, this is probably my favorite of the 4 elements. This one is like when you used to be a kid and you would toss a balloon up and then you had to keep bumping it up so it didn't touch the ground. And so someone has to toss a balloon up, can't be at the whoop, and then you have to fly the whoop. You have to bump the balloon once, so you bump it up in the air, and then without crashing or bumping into anything with your whoop, then you have to go again and then bump the balloon up a second time in the air. So you have to get 2 contacts.
Yay!
I did it! I had it twice!
You did it!
Oh wait, I gotta do a trick.
Then you had to do like a celebration roll or any trick.
Okay, we gotta do celebration after finger guns. Let's go for 3!
No!
Who can do 3? I want to see someone do 3. Boom. Boom.
Yay!
I did it!
Pretty sweet.
I had it twice!
You did it!
Oh wait, I gotta do a trick.
Ends. I'll show you like a couple of the other ones because this challenge was fun. All right, and this was the last element. This is kind of the most complicated one. You had to do like flip or roll to bounce off 2 balloons, pop another balloon, and then perch on a fourth balloon, and they had to be different heights. And you could only secure the balloon by like the base of the little tie-off, so that it could kind of move around. And that'll be key here in a second when we look at the other people's attempts. So Shawnee D completed his own challenge, as you can see there. Here's another example. He calls that an umbrella bounce. Basically flip directly into a bounce. Pop the balloon and then perch on another balloon. Anyway. Great job by Shawnee D. Super creative challenge. Super fun. Oh, I forgot. Shink and Whoop's challenge had 2 parts. My bad. Let's go back to Shink and Whoop real quick. Shink and Whoop's challenge had 2 parts. He had his actual trick part, and then he also had, you had to take your fleet of drones and then orbit around them, which was actually a super fun idea because you got to see everyone's like drone collection. Here's Shawnee D's. Let's do Shink and Whoop's real quick, since it was his challenge.
Can we keep this high alive tonight? We'll say a bittersweet goodbye tonight.
What if you only have one whoop? If you only have one whoop, you probably didn't make the finals. Alright, but yeah, that was a really good and fun idea too by Shink and Whoop there, because it's cool to see what everyone flew. iFly sometimes has a huge, like, whole room of drones and stuff. So we'll look at that. That was fun. There's iFly sometimes. Super drone setup. You can tell he flies a little more than sometimes. Anyway, that was super fun. So, Inz, you're saying it'd be hard to do it single. Yeah, Shink and Whoop. Shink and Whoop tried to come up with some ideas for the balloons. I think he had the most creative one here. He goes with the bounce the balloon so it floats a little more, you have more time. He bumps it, but everyone was saying it was hard, like, because once you bumped off the balloon, it just totally knocked you in a random direction. But he got some help too eventually. It looks so close! Oh, to bumping it again! Shink and Whoop had some really close ones. Boink. Oh! Oh! Boink. Anyway, fun challenge. So yeah, Shawnee D's challenge. No one else was able to pass it, and that's because Tyrant, in his challenge, he basically did all 4 of the elements. But on the Mario level 1, the umbrella bounce,
I did some brutal crap. Terrible challenge. 4 of them, I don't even think I would have come. But it seemed like 50% of the time they were
he didn't totally pay attention to the rules, and he secured the balloons
that I found
in a way that was technically illegal.
Probably the
because he kind of surrounded the balloon in a little Lego structure, which didn't allow it to move around, which was against Shawnee D's rules.
Umbrella bounce challenge.
So we had to give him a fail.
90% of the time when I would bounce on that balloon after doing a trick, I would go straight into a wall. And last but not least.
All right. So He did get all the other fun
Not only
elements
was
though, like
Shawnee D's balloon challenge one of the
Boink.
most creative and interesting challenges
Boink.
that I've ever done in IGOW, but it was equally
It's a good one.
You are praying faster than I can hit my disarm switch. So it definitely led to some brutal crashes, and somehow, maybe to the prayers of the Whoop God, I did not break a single thing from this challenge.
All right, and finally, Tyrant's own challenge. He, of course, like we were talking about, another perfect challenge, completed his own challenge. No one else could complete it, so he got 20 points.
Wall. And last but not least, my challenge.
His was
So
a
the idea behind
speed
my challenge was to do something
Maddie flip challenge. I'll let him talk about it.
I got pretty burnt out last season after coming up with challenge after challenge during finals in such a short amount of time. That I just
Yep, Fart Devil. That is one of the other reasons he failed.
This season. So I figured, why not do a challenge that I've done before that best suits my strengths, and landed on Akira's Maddie Flip challenge. The challenge itself went pretty smoothly. I got it done within a session, but I actually had to do it twice because the first time that I did it, I actually forgot to do the little handgun sign at the end of it. So it took a few more attempts afterwards, but I finally got it. And that concludes my round 1 video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my little walkthrough of how the last couple of weeks went.
All right, so if you couldn't tell there, his challenge was recycled from last year, very similar to one that Akira made up last year, where you had to do bunch of Maddie flips in a TGS in a short period of time. I think he ended on 11 and 15 seconds or under 15 seconds. And the main requirement / judging thing was that after your flip, you had to be able to see the TGS until you went backwards all the way through the gate on every loop. So everyone else was able to do 15 loops and keep the thing in view, but just not in the time limit. So they couldn't quite do it fast enough. So good strategy by Tyrant there. Doing a challenge he can do that everyone else was not able to do. Giving him a 20. He passed Shank Fly sometimes, and Shank and Whoops, like we talked about, had that rules mistake on Shawnee D's, so he didn't pass Shawnee D's, but ended up with 40 total points. And Shawnee D had a perfect challenge and passed Shank and Whoops, so he got 30. And then I Fly sometimes just barely behind. If Tyrant had failed his, or if Tyrant had passed Shawnee D's, I Fly sometimes and Shawnee D would have been tied. But as it stands, Shawnee D just barely passed, had more points than I Fly sometimes, and then Shank and Whoop in 4th place in the group. So, great job by that group. What's up, kids? Hey, thanks. So then our next group was the Vi-Fly group. And in that group, we had Aviation, RCKY, the Red Maddie, and Jal. So let's go over their challenges. Jal's challenge was like a chair Olympics from week 2, except just on steroids. You had to do yaw spins through both directions of the chair, then a snapback, power loop to Vanny roll, and then Maddie flip, and then land on the chair. I think it had to be under 15 seconds. Unfortunately, Jal not quite able to complete his own challenge by barely technicality. He says one of his requirements was that you rotate 90 degrees before entering the chair face. And you can see here, like on this first spin, or the second spin, excuse me, he just comes up just barely short, entering the chair before getting to 90 degrees. You can see he's clearly entered the chair before turning 90. So that was an unfortunate fail for JL on his own challenge. But he did get the Red Maddie to do basically the exact same thing and turned a little bit too late. So Maddie also failed his challenge, but RCKY and Aviation were able to pass it. So He got 0 points for because he didn't pass his own challenge, and then since he got one other person to fail it, he didn't get the minus points. He just got a break even. All right, so then on to Maddie's challenge. Maddie. So his was called, his name's right, the Red Maddie, and it was Maddie's Maddie Flip Madness, or some Maddie Flip Madness by Maddie, something like that. Anyway, here's a bunch of Maddie elements. Start with a half Maddie through the bottom, then Maddie flip the top bottom of the TGS, half Maddie in the middle, another Maddie flip, and then half Maddie on the top, and finally one more Maddie flip. And you had to do that, you had to alternate directions in the half Maddies. So you can see Maddie completed his own challenge. Nice work. But RCKY was also able to complete it, and so was Jal. Jal and Aviation were also able to complete it, but RCKY was not quite able to. You had to do a celebration roll at the end, and you had to keep the gate in view. In RCKY, when he did his celebration roll, the gate came out of view for like half of the roll, so, or not even half, just part of the roll. So unfortunately, he did not pass. But that gave the Red Maddie 3 bonus points for getting RCKY to fail, plus the 10 for completing his own challenge, so he ended up with 13. All right, next was RCKY's challenge, which I thought was one of the more creative ones in the way that he set it up to make it difficult without seeming too difficult. So he has this setup where he has 3 gates, but the middle gate is raised up basically like 2/3 of a gate. And then he requires you to do constant loop motion basically through all 3 of the gates in multiple elements. But there's only about maybe an 8-inch space where the gates actually overlap, so you don't have a lot of room to do a more or less straight shot through there. So it made it kind of tricky. So you can see you had to do a power loop, and then 3 Maddie flips. You notice how he it's always coming straight through the gates, no like up and down adjustments. Then you had to do a Rubik's Cube and 1 more power loop. This one's really nice, constant loop motion. So great job there by RCQA, creative challenge. And it tripped up both Jal and the Red Maddie. Because of the up and down. Both of them, when they were coming back through, they just didn't keep constant enough loop motion and had obvious waves or stops or delays in some way that didn't have them pass. Aviation, no, that was Jals. He almost failed Jals, but he actually passed it. So, and Aviation was, of course, able to do it. He was able to do every challenge. So, very creative by RCQY, smart challenge, and it netted him 16 total points because he passed his own and he got 2 fails, giving him 26, just ahead of the Red Maddie and Jal. And finally, Aviation, the captain of the group and our only pilot to score perfect overall in the entire round, he passed his own challenge. He got everyone else to fail his challenge, and he passed every single other challenge. So pretty dominating performance for Aviation. And his challenge was pretty intense too. He didn't put any, here it is. So you started with a ladder, like we've done a bunch, up and then down, switching directions, into a power loop, into a front power flip, into a Barani, into a Maddie flip, split S, Maverick Maddie, limbo loop, and then I think Immelman. Yep, and then you had to land on yourself. And you had 32 seconds or something to do it. So it was it was pretty quick. I think he has one more example of it here. That was Shaken Loops. Or, sorry, Maddie's. Yeah. Anyway. Ridiculous execution from Aviation. Might have had a bump on that one. Anyway, great job. No one else able to pull that one off. He did all of them, so he got 50 points. Scored the most out of anyone in round number 1 of the playoffs. All right, next, FYS Crafts Group. We had Gravion Mayo, Cha-Cha, Dan Carpy, and Akira. So, Gravy's challenge, as you can see, everyone able to complete it, including Gravy, so he only got 1 point. Let's check out his. Akira. Cha-Cha's. Carpy's. Must have done his second. This is still Akira's. Here it is. Alright, so Gravy's challenge involved an elevated cube. Had some of the elements similar to week 10. You had to do a loop to Maddie to loop switch, and then a power loop, and then you had to do a reverse cube cross, where you fly backwards through the cube, 2 faces, and then an eject roll into another power loop of the cube. So let's watch that one more time. So you go Maddie to power loop, and then loop into the cube, fly backwards, reverse cube crossing through the 2 faces around the corner, and then eject roll, and then loop of the whole cube. So, great challenge from Gravy. Very cool, lots of fun elements, but everyone able to do it. He did have a pretty tough group with Cha-Cha, Dan Carpy, and Akira all completing it. Alright, next we had Cha-Cha. It's Jamie, and he made a whole story behind his, which is fun, like about our backstory for his challenge. And the idea was that you have to do all these elements of his challenge, and then that will take you back in time, and then you can stop the Brawny Massacre of Week 12 of IGOW4. Anyway, he had definitely had a fun challenge if you want to watch the thing. And he got married or engaged and turned 30. That's right. Congratulations. And then he had a surprise party. His birthday party. So, fun stuff for Cha-Cha. Then he also passed his own challenge. First part of which was 5 inverted orbits of yourself inside, and you had to stay at the top of the screen, no dipping past the corner. Great job him finishing off that there. And then his other part was pretty cool. I think a lot of people liked it. It was like inverted orbit tricks. So while you're inverted orbiting, you had to do all these different elements like flip, roll, yaw spin, and Rubik's Cube. So there's the roll, there's the flip, like the yaw spin, another flip, and then this Rubik's Cube that he invented, where you're inverted orbit, and then you do basically a Rubik's Cube motion back into an inverted orbit. And great job by Cha-Cha. He passed his own challenge. Had a bunch of pretty strict rules. Still got it done. So, but in his group, Akira was also able to do it. Dan Carpy not twice, and Gravy not able to do it. So he picked up 10 for his own challenge, plus six more for having 2 fails. And we should actually watch Akira's execution of his challenge because Akira did it about as perfect as he can. There's no. There's the self orbits. That's coming up next. But yeah, Akira, I think Akira liked this because he really got it down. So the idea is you're supposed to like keep the inverted orbit motion through each trick so that you keep spinning. But Akira's execution of the Rubik's Cube part here is just excellent. It's great. I think he has one more full clip too. Akira's like flips and rolls staying in the inverted orbits like almost perfect. That's so good. Anyway, great job by Akira on that challenge. Great job by Cha-Cha making up a cool challenge and cool new tricks. And the next in our group, in FIS Crafts group, was Dan Carpy. Dan Carpy, as you can see, another one of our perfect challenges, completed his own challenge and no one else able to do it. Exactly what we're looking for here in the finals. Carpy, if you don't know, has been around since IGOW4 Playoffs. He made IGOW Playoffs both last seasons, and he even got an own term invented after him called Carpying, where you screw up your own challenge. If you fail your own challenge in the final, it's lovingly referred to as Carpying yourself. It used to be a lot more of a penalty than it is now. But Carpy didn't Carpy himself in his own challenge. In fact, he did the exact opposite. Got everyone else to fail with this here. You go Matty flip to what he calls Helter Skelter, with a Matty flip with a 360 yaw on the way back, and then into a front power flip, and then a back power flip, and then a brawny, and then a roll through the middle. So not too many elements, but definitely tough, and definitely tough to string them all together like that. Front power flip, back flip, power flip, brawny. It's no easy task. As everyone else in the group showed, he's not able to do it. So not even Akira able to pull that one off. So great job by Carpy in his finals, round 1. And finally, Akira's challenge. Akira might have gone slightly overboard because he had 2 parts. Oh, I already have it up here. He had 2 parts to his own challenge, but everyone failed part 1, so he was the only one that had to complete part 2. And make sure to do it properly without screwing it up. Otherwise, if he had failed his own part 2, even if no one else was able to do it, it would have been a lot less points. Anyway, his first challenge was this ridiculous combo on this setup where you have a TGS with a cube basically parallel with the bottom face of the TGS. And he had all these different tricks he had to do, kind of switching between the the two elements, and it had to be fast. So, great job by Akira. No one else was able to do this. So it was Matty Flip, Matty Flip, Matty Flip, power loop, or sorry, switch, power switch, split S switch to Maverick loop, to power loop switch back to the TGS, then split S ladder down, and I believe split back in the lower part. That was hard for everyone. And then loop switching to the thing, Rubik's Cube, and finish it off. I think you had a little bit more time than that. And then, so no one able to even pull that part off. But just in case Akira's like, I also need part 2. And he recycled something from last season again, like Tyrant did, one of his challenges. This was the speed Rubik's Cubes. So inside, you had to do, I don't even remember, 14 Rubik's Cubes in 20 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 12, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It was 10 and 15 maybe? 11 and 15? I don't remember. A lot of Rubik's Cubes and not a lot of time. And he had specific requirements about coming out like within 45 degrees of where you started and seeing the back wall for at least half a rotation. Anyway, all his Rubik's Cubes were totally passable, and he got that done. No one else able to do that part or part 1 of Akira's challenge, so fully got everyone else to fail. Passed his own, gets 20 points for that. Passed Cha Cha and Gravy's. Didn't quite get Dan Carpy's, but ended up with 40 total points, and Carpy with 30. And similar to the Beta FPV group, Cha Cha got 16 for his own and 10 for passing Graygon Mayos, but just 4 points short of moving on, with Carpy scoring 30 and Cha Cha scoring 26. And then Graygon Mayo just got 1. He wasn't able to do any of the other challenges, passed his own, but everyone passed his. So that's how the FYS Crafts group shook out, with Akira and Dan Carpy moving on and Cha Cha and Gravy being done. And finally, our last group was the Joshua Bardwell group. This group had a lot of things to say about the challenge here. Not everyone was a super fan of Velvix's challenge at first, but yeah, let's take a look at the things. Blasta, unfortunately, hurt his back and was not really able to even attempt any of the other challenges. But he did create his own challenge, and he did get it done. So he got 10 points for that, and then Velvix also had troubles, which we'll go over in a second, so Velvix wasn't able to complete his. So Blasta got 13 total points for his own, but Bance and Mo were also able to do it. So let's take a look at Blasta's. Round 2 challenges make Velvix's look not so bad, yeah. So he's injured his back, and it's only got worse, so he couldn't really do much. How are you feeling now, Blasted? How'd the MRI go? So, said his thank yous, and then his challenge was a TGS combo, 2 bulging discs, just as expected. So he had, I think he had to go power loop, power switch, Matty flip, switch crew, power loop, power switch again, and then you had to do that like under 13 seconds. So great job by Blastic getting his own challenge done, even being injured. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to try any of the other ones. So, got some HD New York footage instead, which hopefully I'll be able to get some of myself here when I go out to see Mo and for the event in the next couple weeks. And there's some Velocidrone simming. So great job by Blasta. Created a challenge, got it done, got at least one other person to fail. So nice work in the finals there. Our next challenge was from Velvix. This one created a lot of ripples at first.
Never back down, never.
So, he doesn't have his own challenge in. So his own challenge was you had to do 30 self-inverted orbits. That was part 1. And then part 2 was a combo where you had to do, he called this challenge Try Hard Selfies. And you had to do like a Barani and a couple different like inverted orbit elements around your legs and around your body. But no one was able to complete Velvix's challenge. Blasta failed it. Blasta failed it, and Velvix not able to complete his own. Bance and Mo, none of them able to get it done. So Velvix didn't get any points for failing his own challenge, but he did get 2 for getting everyone else to fail. So you can see there you get slightly more points for getting everyone to fail, even if you fail, than creating a challenge that everyone can do. So that's kind of the thinking there on the motivation. And yes, Blasta points out that Mo did get part 1, so let's watch that since he's the only one that completed any part of it. So part 1 was the inverted orbits. And Mo pulls off 30 clean self-inverted orbits. He's standing on a little thing because Velvix didn't put any rules about you being able to stand on anything or not. So Mo taking full advantage. See here, really locking in almost perfectly at the top of the screen. Oh, and then after the 30 inverted orbits, you had to land on your shoulder also. So but pretty crazy by Mo to be able to pull it off. Oh, I need to take some more medicine. Coming in for the shoulder landing. I like the nice back lead. Boom. Then the smile. And then here's him trying part 2. You to Barani yourself. And then like Maverick loop to inverted orbit through your legs. Then this new trick element, like inverted back around, inverted back out. And then inverted orbit one leg, and then inverted orbit the other leg. So it was a really difficult challenge. Obviously, no one able to do it. Solid attempts for Mo, though. And Velvix, his own, he couldn't do any of the challenges, and he couldn't do his own because his radio broke.
Never what?
Never give up.
Never.
Well, it did.
So I'm guessing his radio died somewhere like about a week in. And then he went to order a new one, and it took a whole week to get there. So basically, in the 2 weeks, he didn't really have any time to try any of them, which is unfortunate. Velvix, why don't you go borrow Spitz or RCQYs or someone's radio that lives somewhat close to you? I see you at these local races. Anyway, good attempt from Velvix. Fun challenge. Maybe a little too ambitious, but I would have liked to see him try it. Anyway, he got 2 total points. Next, we had Bance, who had one of my favorite challenges. of the thing. Shawnee D had like the most creative and fun. RCKY had one of the most clever. Yeah, but I think Bance had the coolest like actual tricks. So he had called his challenge cubic transfers, and you had basically 2 elevated cubes, and then you had to do tricks between them. So there was loop and Maddie, and then snap back stall combo. You had to like snap back from one cube and then stall into the other. So that was a pretty cool combo for the first one. But the second one is the one I really like. He's got eject roll transfer and power loop transfer, which are just super cool looking tricks. So eject roll is just like an eject roll in one cube, but to the other. That just looks sick. And then you do backflip transfer from one to the other. And then I forget the last element. Oh, the Cubani. So it's like a Barani motion basically between the cubes. Similar to Tyrant's made up challenge from week 11 called the Bolani. Anyway, we'll have to watch that one more time because that's sick. That's my favorite one right there. Great challenge from Bance. Very cool. Definitely going to be using some of those elements in future IGOWs. Alright, and Bance's challenge. Mo was able to do it, but Velvix and Plasta they weren't attempting any challenges, so they both failed. Bance passed his own, as you just saw there. So he got 16 points, giving him 26 total. And finally, we have Mo, the captain of the group. He made up a TGS challenge. The most Mo. Velvix. No. Where's the TGS? Here it is, right here. So this is Blastus. Bance. Bance. Okay, here's his combo. So TGS, Barani, Power Switch, like Karuri type Yasmin, into a loop into another Barani, back through starting a loop into an inverted orbit. So, nice work by Mo. He has 2 examples. Barani, Power Switch, Karuria, to a loop, into another loop back into the inverted orbit. Oof. Great job, Mo. Completing his own challenge, giving us the finger guns. Super Steez Barani right there. Oh no, where's the Super Steez Barani? I think it's on this one. This one right here. Ooh. Mo really liked that one. He showed it to everyone. Anyway, great job by Mo. He passed his challenge. No one else could quite get it done, so he got full 20, plus passing Bance and Blastus, gave him 40 overall to win the group and move on with Bance. Since Velvix and Blasta didn't really attempt any other challenges, they obviously didn't move on. So overall, you can see our placements here based on points in the final round. We had Shake and Whoop and Gravion Mayo tied for 15th. Velvix finishing in 14th. Jal finishing in 13th. Blasta and the Red Maddie tying for 11th. And then I Fly Sometimes and Cha-Cha tying for 9th. And our top 8 pilots are RCQY, Shawnee D, Bance, Dan Carpy, Mo, Akira, Aviation, and Tyrant. So These 8 pilots are doing the same thing again. They're all they've already made up challenges, and they're all working on completing their challenges. They're in groups for round 2. We did the draft just after the results were in, and we ended up with these groups. The HD0 group with Aviation, Akira, Bance, and Dan Carpy. And then in the Orca group, we got Tyrant, Mo, RCKY, and Shawnee D. And that's the order of the picks right there. You can see Shawnee D, the most feared pilot. No one wanted to pick him. Last pick. Yeah, so next Sunday, we will go over the results. The results for round 2, and then we'll set up for for the final 4. So the final 4 is going to be a slightly different format. We'll go over that next Saturday. So next Saturday at 12, we'll have a stream, and we'll go over what the final 4 round is going to look like and kind of how that's going to be structured and the rules. And then on Sunday, we'll have the results for round 2 of the pilot challenges. So if you're the top 8 and you don't know already, the submission form's open now. Oh. The submission form's open now. It's due Sunday at noon, and then we'll start the stream. I'm going to start it like 2 hours later so I can review everything ahead of time and not have to do it on stream, hopefully. Anyway. Yeah, so 2 streams next weekend, one on Saturday to go over the next round of the finals, another one to go over the results, and then we'll probably have another stream on Monday where we draw the so the finals thing is going to have like somewhat of a draw. Oh no, that'll be the next week. Never mind, there's a whole week of finals prep if I actually looked at the rules or the schedule. So after we have the end of round 2, then we have a finals prep week where the pilots will prepare their challenges, and then we'll draw at the end of that week, so like the 20th. And then we have 3 rounds in the finals, to knocking off 1 pilot each round until we have a champion here in early November. All right. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. I think covered everything. Yeah, lots of really fun challenges in round 1. Thought it went really well. It was almost perfectly chalked. Like in every group, the 2 higher ranked or higher regular season ranked pilots moved on in every single group. And the 2 closest pilots to moving on that didn't quite make it, I Fly Sometimes and Cha Cha, were also the next 2 pilots on the list. So I think the format worked pretty well to kind of find the pilots that should be moving on. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a good Saturday. Yeah, check out my weight loss vlogs if you're looking for some stuff to watch. I have FPV content in each one. Week number 12 was a fun one, like I was talking about. And yeah, we'll see you guys next weekend for the results. All right, Blasta, Ins, Kiz, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next weekend. Later, Bri.